All right, got to do a fourth video. Got to do a fourth video. You know how fixated my monkey mind is on Zillow, Zillow.com, and showing you zoom into this city area, zoom into that area, look at the blue dots, look at the red dots. And remember, when you zoom in, you got to zoom in even more, and then some more, and all of a sudden more dots pop out. So you think, oh, there's only like 14 or so blue ones, which mean foreclosure or auction, and then you zoom in, and then a whole bunch just showed up. So I kind of inspired somebody, I guess, to look into this. They sent me a message. Please check out my post below. I give you credit for the tip, but you are not reading Zillow correctly. Go on Zillow and in the menu bar choose blue dots only, and it will blow your mind. There are hundreds and hundreds of foreclosures. Actually, he means thousands, by the way. If you show my data on your show, I'll donate some Bitcoin to you. Listen, thank you. But that ain't why I need to do this video. This is right up my alley, and not only did he give me credit, it's from beforeitsnews.com. He actually posted an article. It gave me credit, which is great. But he went in all kinds of different cities and shows you screenshot. So when I tell you the real estate apocalypse is starting, even though you wouldn't notice it looking at prices, well, what's up with these prices? They're super high. It's here. It's already here. Now we have to wait for the aftermath. So I want to pull this side up and let you look at this with me, because this is insane, okay? This is insane. Just type in a zip code, city or state you would like to visit, and presto, you're there. Now press More Map to enlarge the viewing area. On the menu bar is listing type with a red and blue dot next to it. And what I did, to be fair, see over here where it says Make Me Move? That comes up under the blue ones too. But so does foreclosed and pre-foreclosures, as well as auctions, which again were foreclosures. The Make Me Move, I hovered my mouse over it and it said something like, make this person a cash offer or like a lower something cash offer, and make them an offer they can't refuse, and make me move kind of thing. But every time I looked at that, when I pulled the map up and pulled that down, it was like you see there 4, 5, 6, 8, nothing. Everything else 290, 370, blues and this and that. So what I did was I unchecked that box that said make me move, just to be fair, as I poked around today. But again, I'm going to show you his screenshots of some major areas that were once sprawling, manufacturing, business boom, you name it, when I read you the names of these cities. Again, red dots are homes for sale by owner or realtor. Many have been on the market over a year, which I showed in Miami, a lot of those when I did my video a few months ago. Blue dots are foreclosures and auctions. Each dot represents another family in ruin. To view the blue dots alone, again, you can uncheck the red dots and vice versa. So, Atlanta, Georgia. Here's a screenshot of where he's going to be looking. Here are the blue dots. Would you look at that? These are all foreclosure or auction, etc., or pre-foreclosure. Like he said, another family being thrown out on the streets. And what was that saying? Was it Benjamin Franklin? I always get confused. Like it was Oddball that said it. Like Oddball, the ones it wasn't like Thomas Jefferson, like it was someone else like that. But it was something like, first by inflation, then by deflation. The banks will grow up around the people, depriving the people of the property that they had or whatever. I can't think of the quote off the top of my head, but this is it. This is it. And here's the red one, same map. So these are, in other words, legitimate homeowner sales, or I hired a realtor to sell my house or whatever. Okay, so that's red and blue. That is absolutely beyond insanity, okay? Where are we looking at again? Where was this on? BFG? No. Or BFE? No. Atlanta, Georgia. Baltimore, Maryland. I did a video 2 days ago, and I talked about the little 5-minute video that the guy did where he's driving through Baltimore to show you this absolute crap hole that it's become. Opioid pandemic. And I've said anybody in there, if you have an opioid pandemic in your neighborhood or area, post a comment. I'm curious, right? That was for that video, not this video. So anyways, Baltimore. Have a look. And you got to say, oh, yeah, but there are some ghettos and stuff. Okay, yeah, of course. There's ghettos everywhere. But is this whole freaking map ghetto? Is the entire thing ghetto land? I mean, same with Atlanta. Let's go back up to Atlanta. Is this entire, look how this, you know how many square miles this is? Look at them in Baltimore. And again, same thing, for sale. Bunch of for sale and a bunch of for sale by foreclosure. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Speaking of, the last video I did, capital of Connecticut, we're got a $2 billion tax fund shortfall. You know, bankruptcy on, you know, on the verge of bankruptcy. Speaking of Connecticut, Bridgeport, foreclosures. Oh, wow, would you look at that? For sale. So, well, let me add my comment later. Let's keep going. Foreclosures. We're in Chicago, Illinois now, of course. Rahm Emanuel Central. You know, make our state or our city a refugee safe place. You know. Again, look at them all. This is beyond insane, man. How about Dallas, Texas? You know, Dallas, man. Woo-wee. Look at those things piled up. And then the red, of course. Denver, Colorado. Denver, Colorado? Whoa. And then, yeah, Detroit. Once the hub of, you know, you could almost put a backdrop of Detroit to like represent America back in the heyday. Manufacturing, cars, GM, you know, yeah. You know what it is now. Detroit, this is obvious, you know. I almost feel like it's a little unfair to post it on here, but no, it's not. No, it's not. Detroit was a booming city back in the day. It was fantastic. That was, you could almost say the American dream was present all over Detroit back in the day. You could live it easily. Honolulu, Hawaii. Or is it Hawaii? Houston, Texas. Back to Texas. Foreclosures. Sprinkled on the map like sprinkles on a cake or ice cream. Las Vegas, Nevada. With all of the tourist attractions and money to be made in Vegas. I'm not talking about gambling. I'm talking about taking care of people who want to come in and gamble. Hospitality and everything that goes with it. This should look, I haven't even looked. We're going to look together. This should not look too bad. And I haven't looked yet. I don't know what it's going to look like. This should not look too bad. Las Vegas, come on. You know, it's not a big area either. Vegas isn't. Although those are blue dots, I can assure you that is not looking very Smurfalicious. Okay? It's not very Smurfy. Los Angeles, California. Oh, boy. The entire map riddled. Foreclosures and for sale. Jersey. Joyzy. Palisades, New Jersey. Manhattan. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, my God. Wow. Jiminy Christmas. Phoenix, Arizona. Another one. Just, this is incredible. This is crazy. This is nuts. San Diego. I used to live there. San Diego Superchargers. Foreclosures. Ooh-wee. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, that's LA before Snippy. Come on, man. You know, there's some pretty bad areas. Okay. San Diego? I thought San Diego was kind of the upper, you know. No? Okay. I do know there's some bad areas there, too. Matter of fact, you couldn't probably point to a place on this country where there isn't a bad area somewhere. And then for sale, San Jose, California. For sale, Seattle, Washington. Ooh, not pretty. St. Petersburg, Florida. That's not too far from Snippy. That is not too far. It's the other side of my pond. Look at that. Ooh. And for sale. So now for my comment. When I stopped and said I want to comment, I said, now let me just finish. My comment is this. Obscene prices for houses. See how you can't see my hand off my screen? It's so high. That's where house prices are on a real scale. They're where you can't see them. They're so high. Why are they that high? This makes no sense. People can't afford these prices. We're still giving mortgages out when we shouldn't. We're giving them to people who shouldn't because they can't pay. We still have subprime problems, both in auto and homes. How, right? Let's go back to market supply and demand. Simple fundamentals. You have a bunch of people looking to buy something, but you don't have enough of the product to give to the people. There's too many people for your product. Does your product go down in price or does it go up in price? It goes up. And depending on how bad of a difference there is, it could go up significantly in price because it's in limited quantities and there's X amount of people who really need this or want this, whether they need it or not, they want it. And I'm the only one that's got it. I'm the only one that has some that are not taken. But this is all I got and I can't meet the demand that's needed. The prices get jacked up. So that's simple logic. That's how a market works. The opposite is not a whole lot of people want to buy all the stuff that I got. I've got plenty to give out, and I'm not selling that much of them. Is the price going to be high or low? The price is going to go down because there's hardly anyone who wants to buy these things. So I've got a glut of these things. I need to get rid of them. Well, I'm going to drop the price if I want to move them. Or I can just sit back and hold on to them at this high price and hope and pray that some schmuck comes along, a bunch of schmucks come along and buy me out. Not going to happen, right? So the opposite occurs. You have to drop the price until you can get some people to get your product because they don't really want it. But for that price, maybe I will take one. And then someone else will think the same thing. Well, for that price, yeah, I'll take one until you finally unload them. Then you look at, well, my price was way up here and I had to come way down here to get rid of these damn things. This is simple market, markets 101, free markets. That's how it works. So my question here, my thought that I can't get an answer to for some reason, because there's just something that is out of whack. All of these places I showed you should be economically decent because there's tons of people living there. It's a city. I didn't show you out in the country where you find a few blue and a few red. No, this is compacted area. Neighbors could throw a rock right next to each other easily, 8 feet away, 10 feet away, house on top of house on top of house. That's what these areas are. Houses next to houses next to houses as far as the eye can see. And there's so much for sale and there's so much foreclosed for sale. So these two charts that I'm showing you, just to bring one back up, just so we're clear here. This is St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm going to, hometown almost, close by. This is the blues, foreclosures, and down here the reds. I own the house. I'm trying to sell it through a realtor or myself or whatever. Not foreclosed, but for sale. You have to combine both because these both represent houses for sale, period. Regardless if it's a foreclosure for sale or an actual home owned by someone for sale. They are still for sale. And if you have this house that's where I'm living in, let's say is for sale and I happen to own it and I'm selling it, and my neighbor, riffraff, is getting foreclosed on and they left the house, now the bank owns it and they're going to sell it, so it's listed also. The point is the same person or couple can come over here and say, well, we're here to look at both these houses. They're both for sale, so you have to count both as being for sale. That's all I'm saying. So we have to add the blue and the red in every one of these pictures to come up. Look at this one. This was San Jose. Add all this up, the blues and the red, because that's your number. So speaking of market supply and demand, how do we have an absolute glut of homes for sale. Right? Here's the item. I got a bunch of it for sale. And there's even more coming online for sale. How are the prices of houses still at the top, back to the all-time highs as they were? Housing bubble 2.0 is here. And again, I'm telling you, it's going to be popping. It may have already popped and is now starting to come down because this insanity can't keep going. And the example I gave would be, I've got a whole bunch of this stuff that nobody wants. Nobody wants it. And I'm asking absolute top dollar for it. I'm not coming down. I refuse to come down. I want top dollar, and that's the end of it. Naturally, you would say, well, you're going to be sitting on that stuff for a long time, which I think is why most, as he said, I shouldn't say most, but a lot, and I showed this back when I did it a few months ago, of these houses. I'd pick a random one. Zillow's 578 days, 672 days, 329 days. Still haven't sold yet. Still haven't sold yet. Which means what? They're sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting. But then you hear about the story. Oh, my friend just bought a house. How much did they pay? Oh, they bought one for $350 in this area. Oh, those houses were going for $200 not that long ago. But that was one house that sold out of a whole bunch that did not sell. So again, the market forces have to kick in one way or the other and say, we have an enormous amount of stuff to sell. Hardly anyone's buying it. The prices have to come down. But they just got the peak not that long ago. So I think we have a little bit of time for reality to kick in. And everyone's going to say, oh, wow, we are competing with each other. Everybody that's a homeowner or owns a house, or even the banks foreclosures, we got enormous competition amongst ourselves. And all these foreclosures obviously represent a bank. Some bank has loaned this money to these blue dots, right? So you're a bank competing with schmucks. That's you and me. Schmucks who own one house, maybe two houses. And you got a whole portfolio, as far as the eye can see, of foreclosed homes you need to get rid of. But you're a bank, and you've been bailed out by the Fed, and you got a bunch of money. You can afford to take the loss, lower the price of the house, just get that thing off my books, get it out of here. Which happens to bring down the price of other schmucks in your neighborhood who are trying to get a good price for their house, who now can't because the bank just came in and undercut them, which now set up, we got to get comps. The realtor got comps. They got comps in the neighborhood. 2 houses sold for like $40,000 less than we're asking, and they're about the same size as our house. Oh, those were the 2 that were foreclosed. Yeah, but they still count as a sale, and they still get counted as a comp, when they do the comps, which is comparable housing price sales that happened in your area. They add to the average. Therefore, you got screwed because the bank had to sell it lower than they wanted to because they got to unload it. Not only that, you also have to compete with your fellow schmuck neighbors who might want to sell their houses. A sign pops up for sale, another one pops up, another one. Oh, someone comes to the neighborhood, Mr. and Mrs. American Dream pulls in, first-time home buyer, going to get the home buyer credit, going to get subsidized maybe, who knows. Oh, we got 5 houses in here to look at just on this first street. Let's check them all out. We're here on a Saturday. Let's go check them out, honey. And we've got 5 houses. We like 3 of them. Let's make them an offer. See what happens. We get to pick. And maybe one of those houses wants to be one of the 3. Oh, they're looking at 3 houses? Oh, yeah, they're all kind of similar. I can see why. Yeah, listen, realtor. I know we're asking, $250 for this. So they don't even bother making an offer on the other house. Tell them we'll take $230. $230 out the door. Done. I'll tell them. Guys, great news. One of the 3 houses you like, they just knocked off $20,000 if you'll agree and close on this next week. Oh my gosh, we just got a $20,000 discount. Or did I say 30? Whatever it was. They jump on it. Again, house was lower valued. They just bought it. It goes into the average of comps. So then when the neighbors around them do finally sell their houses, someone who makes them an offer might base it off of, well, that house sold for $230. I saw it on Zillow. It said $230. You guys are asking $250 and you're asking $260. Yeah, but that guy wanted to get out really bad. He made him a sweet deal. Yeah, but we don't have to get in really urgently, so we don't want to buy your house unless you make us a sweet deal. This is going to become a buyer's market in the near future. But with all the bank troubles going on, as Cliff High suggests in his webbot, we may have a problem getting a loan for a house, which may push the whole thing of houses coming down 80% of what they were and selling for cash, 20% or 20 cents on the dollar, because someone happened to have cash and didn't have to go through a bank because the banks won't be lending out too much due to what's about to come, according to the webbot. But anyways, I just had to cover this. I had to show you this insanity. City after city after city, horrible. This is proof positive. Housing crash 2.0 is starting. It may not reflect right this second on the prices, because again, it's still some insanity going out there. The radio keeps playing in everybody's ear. Get my new CDs to help you flip houses. No money needed. No credit needed. We'll get you. Oh, well, hell, the market's still doing great then if I'm hearing these commercials. I'm not lowering my price. Oh, you're going to lower your price. I got a magic 8-ball in my left hand and a webbot in my right hand. You are going to be lowering the price of your house. Anyone who's even kind of thinking, we thought about maybe selling our house this year. Let me give you the best advice of your life right now. Get the hell out of that house as fast as you can. Go rent, take the money, sit on it, maybe buy some silver or Bitcoin or both, but don't blow it. Sit on it for a little bit, and then you stand by for the ultimate deal of your life as far as buying a house when this all goes down. When this bubble corrects, it's a culmination of different bubbles: stock market, housing, credit, all of it. It's all going to pop. So it's going to all affect each other. And when this baby pops, there ain't no way housing's just going to come down a little bit. Ain't no way. It's going to be dealt with once and for all. And those who have some cash on the side to pick some of these sweet deals are going to make out like bandits. And I can't wait to hear some of the stories that come when this goes down. Take care.